gastric bypass will cure your diabetes unless you're type 1, right? Or wait, is it type 2, the one that's like
I think it's
permanent and genetic?
type 2 is the permanent one.
Yeah, okay, unless you're type 2. But make no mistake, you wouldn't be curing your diabetes by just eating meat. You'd be curing your diabetes if you actually end up losing weight. That's
Which,
it.
of course, you're going to lose weight with all meat because, like, you're going to get ill if you eat, like, what, 2,000 calories of meat every day? You'll be, like,
Oh,
absolutely.
I got it right. Type 1 is permanent. Type
Okay.
2 is.
Okay. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's so vile.
84% discontinued oral medication, and 92% of participants on the carnivore diet with type 2 diabetes discontinued insulin altogether. Over 2,000 people were studied who were on the diet for over 6 months, and there was a 90% reduction in all diseases. The demonization of red meat was based off of a few hypotheses.
The demonization of red meat?
Who the fuck's demonizing red meat?
Cows, a fucking like
know,
systematic slaughter
okay,
of cows. Like
what?
cow farts are literally causing global warming.
You want to know who's demonizing red meat? Her fucking dad, bro.
Yeah, I see what she did.
I saw what he did with the.
I don't want to
eat. What he suggested with that A5 Wagyu is so disgusting. Oh god.
It's actually
Shame.
hateful. If I could call, I would like to call it a hate crime.
It is a hate crime.
Yeah.
It's a hate crime against Japanese cows.
But like it's so insane what she's advocating for. Like even if what she's saying is true, let's assume that eating cows cures every fucking sickness in the world. It's crazy, but how are you going to do that? How are you going to get enough cows, even for the United States, to feed everybody just cow meat every meal? Like, what world are you even wanting to build with that? It's crazy.
And it's because the study, when I saw this video, I was like, she's talking about a Harvard study, and I was like, I gotta see what this is, like if there's any validity to it.
Yeah, okay. And I know what your purpose was. you have a bias.
I have an agenda here. It's true. It's true. But yeah, I found the study, and the study itself makes a lot of points about that. How it is in no way realistic for the entire population to switch to this kind of diet because of those environmental concerns.
It would be catastrophic.
Yeah, they point that out. And on top of that, this study was all self-reported by people that are super into the carnivore diet. So of course they're saying, oh yeah, it's great. Because I mean, you know how these people are. They're all like her. They think it's like a cure-all.
They self-reported. So how did they find the participants?
On like Twitter, on social media.
So what's the point of even making this?
Like, Harvard's falling apart.
What's the point of even doing this? I mean, like, hey, carnivore diet people, tell me how you.
Because they're too focused on doing pronoun studies. So the institution of Harvard is falling apart, folks.
That's right.
They're not even doing good studies no more.
I'll tell you what, man.
I mean, like you can do a self-reported study. It's just like there's no way to recreate this. I don't think, and also. Diets are so complicated, so complex because human beings are so different from one another. There's different ways that people process, metabolize food. It's just stupid. It's just stupid to be like, oh, just the carnivore diet will work. When ultimately, yes, if you dramatically shift your diet, and one thing I always say is you have to make sure your diet is whatever it is, right? Like you can have an unhealthy diet, you can have a healthy diet, but you have to make sure that your diet is one that you can follow for the rest of your life. Otherwise, you will yo-yo. Your weight will go back and forth as soon as your, I guess, quote-unquote, diet is over, right? Because there's no such thing. And I don't think you can do that with just straight meat.
Well, the reason people do lose weight on meat is because going to like one food is like it's a technique in nutrition and in health to figure out like if you're having food allergies or certain foods aren't doing good for your body. So if you are having some kind of allergies and you feel sick from eating, which I assume these people probably do to do something as radical as that, if you go back down to just eating meat, then whatever you were eating before is out of your diet. But you're supposed to slowly add things back in one at a time, not just go, oh, I'm just going to eat meat forever. That doesn't make any fucking sense. To go
You're,
back
you're
to
literally describing fixing eating disorders. Like that's what dietitians would teach you on, step by step.
yeah, they like sticking in the dysfunction part.
Yeah. Well, it just it's no fun. The fuck, like, yeah, food is fuel, but you can make healthier choices that work for you. I do it. You know, I've been relatively successful in this endeavor. It just pisses me off that they take something that I enjoy eating and then they turn it into like this awful thing. Like they advocate for like the worst kind of the worst type of consumption. You can still have carbs. You should have a healthy, balanced diet. It's so stupid.
Going back to the survey, it says, or this is the study she's citing. So not only were they self-assessed, but it does not include any objective assessment of their diet, nutrition status, health-related outcomes, or health-associated behaviors.
Oh, why does it lie?
Yeah, I know. So, like they said, further investigation is needed to better understand the diet and its impact on health.
And that's directly from the study. So it's not even that it's like a bad study. Like they acknowledge the shortcomings in the study. It's just they were
Super preliminary.
right, exactly.
And she's
Where
like,
is
not
she
Harvard.
talking about this?
Apparently, I just saw somebody in the chat mention it. Oxford.
Yeah, it looks
Something
like
or other.
some British shit. Cause like the
Yeah.
kids in the back look like
Bit,
composers.
bit dressed up, isn't it?
Yeah. Like,
Oh,
no,
here comes.
I fancy eating meats too, me lady. Big fan. Big fan.
All
of-
stand in attention to Her Royal Highness, Michaela.
I told you.
It's a-
Lion Diet
While sucking the
McPeterson.
smoko,
I love
Watching a
Scran.
taught her to say booyakasha.
Studies that have been proven to be false. Saturated fat has slowly been disappearing as the cause
Why
for
does she
heart
have her
disease
bag
in
on her?
scientific literature.
Yeah, to relax. You know what I mean? Be comfortable up there.
Yeah,
It's like she's ready to run at
she's
any
like,
time.
I've heard Londonistan is
Told
crime
you.
infested. Lots of knife crime here, innit? Need to keep your bag on you. Keep the fanny.
Because it's not the cause for heart disease.
Okay.
The studies on colorectal cancer were done on people who also ate more sugar and processed foods, McDonald's.
Thanks
need
for the
fiber
B-roll
is
of Chinese food.
a myth
Bro.
when you don't consume plants. Our populations need high levels of vitamins. It turns out that's only necessary because we're consuming so many carbs.
Okay,
We
okay.
can't handle the amount of
I
sugar
don't
in our
disagree with
body.
this. I don't disagree with this. It's just so fucking annoying when like people are talking when people want to like sell their fad diets. They genuinely are. It just frustrates me so much because they always sneak in normal, factually accurate information in there. Not the fiber part, but like yes, the American diet is absolutely fucked. Okay, we have a tremendous amount of carbs. Carbs are not as filling overall.
No, but she's talking
The
about
types
like
of carbs,
any
usually
carb.
processed sugars.
They have like psycho takes on carbs. They're like no fucking carbs ever.
Yeah,
They're-
I'm not a
that meat
keto
goes
advocate.
well.
I've done keto and it's not sustainable. I don't like it. It's not for me. Maybe it is for you. Who knows? But what I was trying to say is, like, yes, if you have a diet that comprises almost exclusively of fucking carbs and like very little protein, yes, your muscles are gonna atrophy. You're not getting enough. You're not getting enough nutrients. You're not getting enough macronutrients.
But who's doing that? You're living on just like French fries? I mean,
People have shit diets.
but I'm
people-
saying like, of
People
course
just
that's
eat
bad for you.
Nothing but bread.
Bread, yeah, that's
yeah,
that's
lot of
not a
people
good
have shit
diet either.
diets. It's also cheaper.
I wonder
Remember,
what's worse, eating just bread or just red meat? Probably just bread.
yeah, no, eating just bread is worse than
So
eating-
she's onto something.
But you're right. Like that's an insane one-to-one comparison, right? Like no one is eating just bread or just rice or whatever.
If somebody's just eating carbs, they know they're unhealthy. You know what I mean? Like that's not a fucking mystery. But for some reason, she's convinced that eating just meat to the dome is the greatest thing that ever happened.
Something that you guys just should always keep in mind is that all fad diets basically are operating sneakily under the same fundamentals, okay? Calories in, calories out is real. It's just, your body is a machine. Obviously, it varies from person to person. Some people have a higher, more active metabolism. They're less sedentary. They're more fidgety even. You know what I mean? There's like multiple different ways that your body is constantly burning. and needs more carbs or needs more calories. Sorry. These guys all are just basically taking that fundamental principle and then adding unnecessary weird shit to deviate from the rest and make themselves seem like a more marketable, trendy dieter.
I find a lot of those diets, they kind of accidentally, you just consume less because the diet is so fucking crazy. Like keto, it's like, if you're cutting out processed food and carbs and sugar, you're probably going to lose weight regardless of what you're eating. But here's Jordan Peterson talking very highly about his all meat diet.
Well, I've been eating.
His voice is so fucking crazy. I've been eating only red meat.
Basically nothing but meat. I don't like to talk about this much because I'm not a dietitian, and it's really weird. In some ways, I just hate this diet because I
Wait, really? Because your daughter's selling a whole fucking course about it.
Fuck me.
love to cook.
You've
and
changed, bro.
love to go out to restaurants. It's very
So
restrictive.
bad.
But
Yeah.
when I went on this diet to begin with, because of autoimmune issues, as far as I could tell, I lost like 50 pounds in 6 months. It was ridiculous. Like I wasn't really that much overweight. I'm about 6'2", so, but like 8 pounds a month.
This isn't the video I wanted. This isn't the
just,
video I wanted. Here. This is fast forward a month or something of him. Yeah, I see. Here's Jordan Peterson on his...
Are you still eating your all beef diet?
Unfortunately, yes.
Really, just beef? Not? Can you have like ketchup on it?
Nothing. It isn't something I would lightly recommend. It's a little hard on your social life.
He's such a
Makes traveling
badass,
quite
dude.
difficult, and it's dull as hell. But
But what has it done for you?
well, I lost 50 pounds in 7 months.
He looks so happy, by the way. With his,
Dude,
you know what
no,
I mean?
but,
I think
here's
the meat is working
when
for
you
him.
put the Sigma grind set music behind it, like this effete liberal man who is like very clearly breaking his fucking body, mind, and soul, who got like, who almost died from a fucking apple cider attack, whose daughter may not be trying to kill him actively, okay? Who had to go into a medically induced coma at a certain point in his fucking life. And, that guy, all of a sudden, he looks cool, No, it's normal to be like this fucking lifeless husk who's like, yes, I'm crying all the time because I have a hormonal imbalance, but honestly, it's okay because I've lost a lot of weight.
I've lost weight.
Pizzas in the last 30
The
days.
kids are saying W Riz.
I'm off all my psychiatric drugs. He says that too. Can't you tell I'm doing wonderful? Dude, this man looks like he's on the fucking edge of ending it all.
Stopped snoring.
I stopped
I
snoring.
had some autoimmune conditions that seem to have gone away.
That is so stupid.
I'm not taking antidepressants.
Yeah.
My mood isn't perfectly regulated, but...
Dude,
Bro, he got
that's an
addicted to-
understatement. You look like you're going to kill yourself.
No, he got addicted to the barbiturates after this. So he fucking, didn't take, brother. Like,
I don't have to take any meds. I don't wipe anymore.
I've had over 40 pizzas in the last 30 days.
I don't even look to see if it's dirty. I just assume it is.
I'm under a fair bit of stress, so that might have something to do with it. I sleep much less.
That's
I
not
can
good.
work more.
Are you,
Now
You still
that I
eating your
only eat
all-beef
meat, I
diet?
sleep 2 hours a day.
bro. Especially the sleep part, like, it's so important.
I
Oh
don't-
my God. For a healthy body, mind, soul, whatever the fuck
He
you want to
goes-
call it, your sleep is so incredibly important. You need to get, like, it's not a meme that people say, like, you need to get 8 hours. Like, I say this as someone who doesn't get 8 hours, but I'm telling you, like, it's bananas. He's like, yeah, I can work out.
That's
I
a
can
plus.
work more now that I don't sleep.
Yeah, that's a
I
plus
used to
for
say
him.
that. I used to say that when I slept fucking 4 hours.
Nah, yeah.
It just ruined me.
I'm off my antidepressants, and I'm off sleep as well. It turns out sleep is a conspiracy by Big Pillow.
Sleep is definitely hugely important in your weight loss, weight gain, whatever your dietary, whatever your goals are. Sleep is genuinely important because your body's not going to process hormones correctly. Your body's not going to push out the right kind of hormones that you need.
Now let's talk about Mr. Beast. Let's try to hit all of our main topics here. So I think everybody had kind of a visceral reaction to this thumbnail. First of all, without even analyzing the content of the video, I think we can all just look at this and appreciate how fucking dystopian and weird it is. Like, this man, the smile, first of all, is
Why are the thumbos like that?
just weird, man.
This like, is this a new thing? I mean, if Mr. Beast is doing it, must be like there must be a reason for it. But yeah, it is it's so creepy.
And then this kid who's like, obviously like fake Photoshop tears, but it's almost like, look what I did for this little fucker. I don't know. He's like, he thinks he's like the Willy Wonka.
The thumbo universally is like seen as like a weird one. But I think that's like the new meta, I guess, on YouTube. This is like a Darmon ass thumbo.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
Mr. Beast, yeah, like you said, if Mr. Beast is doing it, then you know that's what it is.
Video has
And you know how he works.
76 million views right now.
What?
Video has 76 million views, so
Jesus.
something's working.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
yeah.
Immediately, and I saw some people talking about like this thumbnail's demonic.
Yeah, it was
It is.
Lol Overruled
It
who
is.
said that there's something entirely demonic about this thing, and he left it at that, and he just showed like the thumbnail, and people were like, "You're saying it's demonic to cure 1,000 people's blindness? Like, fuck you." And the dude that they're dunking on is like a fucking public defender. Like, dude, what do you mean? He's like, his entire life is fucking charity. You dickheads, shut the fuck up. Like, he's literally
People.
he literally defends poor people in the criminal justice system. Like, shut the fuck up.
People get very defensive of Mr. Beast, you know, and I get it. There's people that have tried to take shots at him, some journalists and stuff, over silly shit. And he is, you know, a good guy that does good things, and people fucking just love him, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not criticizing I think he did a great thing. I think he did a great thing.
Yeah.
And I think the people who are criticizing it, you and others, the criticism is that the fact that we live in a country where so many fucking people are desperate for an entirely curable illness.
10-minute surgery.
Dude, it's an
10
curable
minutes.
blindness. Like, they cannot see, and
Yeah.
you can cure it in 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's just like little suck.
And it's like so third world of us.
Well, I mean, but so even Mr. Beast, like, who is still very much a big fan of capitalism.
Can you switch to this?
He's a big fan of capitalism, Jimmy, and even he recognizes, despite being a big fan of capitalism, that this is like weird because he literally in the video says it doesn't really make sense because like these guys could just go back to work after their blindness is cured. You know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah,
that is, again, he has arrived at the heart of the problem, which is that it doesn't even make sense from a pro-capitalism perspective because you would have a more efficient labor force that you can, you know, that you can work harder if you want. From the point of capital owners, that's precisely the reason why most developed nations, if not all of them, have some form of either affordable or free healthcare for this fucking reason.
So actually,
except for America.
And
'cause we're pieces of shit.
I think Mr. Beast is actually getting a little bit radicalized from this, which is great, right? Because
I don't think.
But listen to this tweet. He says, "I don't understand why curable blindness is a thing. Why don't governments step in and help? Even if you're thinking purely from a financial standpoint, it's hard to see how they don't ROI on taxes from people being able to work again." That he's 100% right, and the reason is because we hate poor people. We hate.
No, the reason is because we can make more money. We can make more money off of this. Money! That's the whole point. It's like we are so desperately looking at any avenue we can to just squeeze out like the remainder profits that we can. And America is like accelerated on the capitalism, on the stages of capitalism, I guess, than other countries, in the sense that like it's conducting self-harm to its labor force, to its citizens, specifically so it can make more money in the stock market and in general drive more profits because it's profitable.
I think
because
Americans hate poor people. They don't want to help other people. They think that they should help themselves.
Well, Steinbeck has the wonderful quote on this. Socialism will never work. I mean, I guess it's I'm paraphrasing it, and it's attributed to Steinbeck. But he says socialism will never work in America because the working class do not see themselves as the exploited proletariat, but instead temporarily embarrassed millionaires.
I think that was Mark Twain.
It's attributed to Steinbeck. But I don't think I don't think it's either of them.
I'm looking it up right now.
But yeah.
But it makes sense if
quote
it is
exactly
Steinbeck.
right, because we have this rugged individualism, and people, especially poor people, who are like, I'm barely rich enough to afford that. Then they go, I don't want none of my taxes going. They get obsessed with like, this is my money, fixing these goddamn homeless degenerates. Money. They're like, I cannot see, I cannot work. Go flip a burger, you degenerate. I cannot see. Well, that's your problem. Maybe your mama shouldn't fuck their cousin.
See, old partners.
It's just it is unimaginably cruel, and it's very frustrating anytime I fucking see like the feel good stories that they run in the media specifically to be like, see, we have the power to take, you know, matters into our own hands and save ourselves. And it's like, bro, everywhere else, like in fucking Brazil, people aren't thinking about this in the same way.
Yeah, so in his video, something that stood out to me is he lists all these other countries that he's going to help people with preventable blindness. So it's like America, and then the other shit was like
it's just all African
world.
nations.
Yeah, like
all developing countries. It's America and then developing nations, because America is a third world country with a Gucci belt, straight up.
Jamaica, here, let's see.
Yeah,
This
all
to as many people
victims
as
of
possible.
Western imperialism.
Mexico once surprised me a little bit, but I guess we looked into that because Mexico does have universal. I guess it's just a really long wait to get it done. Honduras, Indonesia, Brazil, Vietnam,
In Brazil,
Kenya,
it's free too. In Vietnam, it's like also
Jamaica, and where we had the biggest impact of all, America.
Yeah. It's crazy though. Like as far as looking at those countries.
Dead, incurable blindness. No. Curable blindness.
What is
curable blindness? Just 10 minutes with the needle, and you can see once again. That's America. All right.
Number one in police brutality per capita. Number one in like the prisoner population on the planet in totality, but also per capita. You know, number one in medical debt. It's just we are number one, baby, in like all the fucking worst ways that you could think.
It was Steinbeck actually.
No, it is it is misattributed to Steinbeck regularly. I'm pretty sure it's not actually.
What I'm seeing is that the version temporarily embarrassed millionaires is not like, that's a later corruption of the actual quote, which is that everyone is a temporarily embarrassed capitalist, and that is Steinbeck. He did say that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I think the video, you know, it exposes something really fucked up about our country, and that's why I think people were having a reaction. Not to Jimmy, who obviously is doing a good thing. He's putting his money out there to help people, and that's awesome. But nobody wants to see how much we're actually failing the people of this country.
I think the funnier part about that quote that I have to also mention, the original quote, is from A Short History in Progress by Ronald Wright, and something that he has, like, Steinbeck has talked about regularly about communists is that he says, I guess the trouble was that we didn't have any self-admitted proletarians, people who are, you know, proud of being working class. Everyone was a temporarily embarrassed capitalist. Maybe the communists so closely questioned by the investigation committees were a danger to America, but the ones I knew, at least they admitted to be communists, couldn't have disrupted a Sunday school picnic. Besides, they were too busy fighting amongst themselves.
Some things never change.
Funny. Yeah, you know what? The average price for this surgery in the United States is $7,000. It takes 15 minutes to perform. That's a lot of money for a $15 operation, a 15-minute operation.
Yeah.
But if it's just putting a little vacuum, shit, I'll do it. You know what I mean? Just train, like, we don't need, why do we need doctors? Just train someone with a little vacuum and get it in there and suck that shit out, bro.
Dude,
I'm not even joking.
Wait, are you? No, dude. Of course not. What
no,
the fuck?
But if it's just,
that's literally like the libertarian solution. Absolutely
not. No, listen to what I'm saying, bro. If you just need them to do this one procedure, you can learn how to do it, and do it super cheap for a ton of people.
Bro, the problem is not that like qualifications are too high to do medical procedures.
No, but this one we gotta. Let's get people in there and start sucking, bro.
Sucks.
What's funny about that is like when something goes sideways, you start like gushing blood out of an eyeball artery. He's like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm letting.
But if you can't see, then like, what do you have to lose to go to fucking?
Dude, that's crazy. Dude, you
Jeff,
are literally
Jeff's eyeball suckering shop.
Okay, you are unironically making like the Milton Friedman argument right now.
I'm not.
This is like the hyper libertarian solution.
Dude, I'm not saying open heart surgery should be done by like your neighbor Barbara.
All medical procedures.
I'm saying the eyeball
conducted.
shit. I'm saying
No
let's get some suckers.
I am not in agreement there. No, here's the real solution. You are wrong. What you should do is not deregulate medicine, but instead make it free to educate people so we have more fucking doctors.
It's
And
cheaper.
also
My way's
have-
cheaper.
And also have a public healthcare structure, a nationalized healthcare structure, where doctors have to do a couple years in rural hospitals so we can finally have better medicine in rural areas. Because currently, as it stands, even though healthcare is not considered, well, hospital administration is not considered profitable, and therefore there aren't enough, rural hospitals. It's not profitable anywhere. It's already being operated by like, wealthy donors and government spending. Make it so that doctors have to go and work in rural
I have
hospitals.
an idea. How about this? There's a clinic, Ethan's Eyeball Sucker, and then you have. Hold on, hear me out. So you have 8 rooms with trained folks with the eyeball sucker, and then you have one doctor there. So if something goes wrong, they could. If the eyeball starts to die or the blood, they have go into red alert, blue code. The doctor comes in and can help out.
Hold it.
That sounds horrific.
Yeah, but you know what's horrific? Not seeing when you can see.
Now, I understand why you have this opinion, but I can see a million ways that this goes wrong, and you're basically saying, listen, like, poor people who can't get their shit fixed, like, yeah, they're gonna get some lower quality health care, but it's a
better than
it's a
nothing.
Good, no, that's an awful way to look at it. That's like that is the.
Is it?
Yes, Ethan. That's crazy.
It's better than nothing, dude.
No, you need to
like
to
if I'm
ensure
if
that
I'm
everyone
like homeless,
gets quality health
look,
care.
obviously that's not the ideal solution, right? Obviously,
it's not a good solution at all.
It's not the ideal.
It's one shared by many libertarians too. I'm letting
listen.
you
I don't
know.
care about what libertarians care about. Okay, fuck. They can all go die in a fire. I don't care. This is me. I am
metaphorically.
Well, what am I? I don't have a fire. I'm not throwing anyone to a fire, right?
You don't have a fire.
I can wish death.
He doesn't have access to fire.
I can.
You can't anything.
Let's see. Let's move. Let's get off the death.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. I'm not saying it's the ideal solution, but it is a solution.
Yes, I
Right?
mean it is a solution.
I acknowledge that.
Of
It is
course
a
it's
solution.
solution. There are
Got
plenty-
him.
But it's not a good solution, Ethan. It's a bad one because it's one that would lead to many complications down the line, long-term consequences. It's literally.
You don't know that.
Why
You're
do
just
we
saying that.
Why do we need
You
abortion?
don't know
clinics?
that.
Why do we need abortion clinics? Why do we need abortion facilities? People could technically do back alley abortions. What happens when people do back alley abortions by like?
Oh, this isn't back alley
random
though.
untrained people who are like trying to offer them help with like
I'm not
giving
saying
them-
back alley fucking cataract surgery. I'm saying Ethan's eyeball sucking
I
shack.
feel like
highly
I feel
trained.
Like cataract surgery is a little bit more complicated than taking an abortion pill, which you can now at this point do at home. When the moment that we talk about surgery, even if it's just a little suck, I think that is still a very complicated process and it should be handled by medical professionals, not just people who are like, learning about eyeball suck.
Listen, we just did a poll. 32% says they would let me suck their eyeball. And they're not even blind, probably.
66% says no.
It's
Yeah, but still 30%
It's
a
not
lot.
looking good, Ethan.
No, but you're missing the plot. You're missing the real point is
While sucking
30% said yes.
While sucking.
That's a business.
The
We're in
principle behind
business.
what you're advocating for is exactly why Milton Friedman would advocate for the Ford Pinto to continue.
Bro, I'm not
being
co-signing
sold.
Milton. I don't even
No, but
co-sign
I know, but the
anybody named
principle-
Milton.
I know, but the principle is the same because, like, you're basically saying individuals as consumers have the responsibility to make rational choices in the market, and therefore government regulation should be abolished in this field, or at least like deregulated, because ultimately
Really,
if you
bro?
die and you get a Ford Pinto, if your fucking car explodes and when you're in the process of driving it, it's not up to Ford and it's not up to the government to make sure that there are standards that they need to abide by. It's up to the individual consumer that made the choice, and if they're poor, they made the wrong choice by getting a Pinto, but at least they got a car for the process before it exploded on them.
Bro, I don't even know what you're talking about. I just want to suck people's eyeballs.
Okay.
I think I found a video.
Listen, I want to show you this, okay? How hard is it? Can we train?
To be honest, it looks pretty hard.
Okay, well, let's see. Oh, God, that's really hard to look at. I think it's fine. It's a medical.
I mean, it's not
procedure.
graphic.
It's not even bloody.
Yeah,
I mean, I
bro,
guess
you want
warning.
some motherfucker that's not
Full
a
screen that,
doctor
full
to do
screen that.
this?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let's. I just want to see. I want to see how easy. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would rather have this be, you know, like have
Highly
the
trained.
qualifications for this, dude.
Yeah, I'm not saying they shouldn't be highly trained.
Yeah,
These-
play the
this is
chestnut
gnarly.
song over this instead. How about that?
Hassan said it, not me. Play it.
After watching this, Ethan, I don't think
Guys,
I
you
want you
talk
stuck
about
on my eyeball.
medical procedures, like what the fuck?
hell.
We are not living in the 14th century, okay? We're in 2023. We already know that this shit is like super hard to do. What the fuck?
Wild. This is honestly
That's a
crazy.
lot of stuff on there.
Ethan's like, I don't get it. Like, what's the deal with surgery? You just like cut someone. get
Bro,
a
I'm not
butcher to
talking
do it.
about open heart. Damn.
I mean, that's the same like caveman fucking attitude that people had in like. The...
That was wild to see, though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I could do that.
Fuck's
I
sake.
could do that.
I could do that.
It's just a little sucky.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
practice, you get a VR, you get a little eyeball.
Ethan, I'm seeing this
Yeah.
video is actually advertising cataractcoach.com. Maybe this is. Maybe you could get coached.
No, that's the worst part. So optometrists are like
I get that off screen.
a lot of
Right.
the vision as a part of like healthcare is usually not like fully covered by insurance almost globally, and part of that is because like it is a very privatized sector and they maintain low prices on some of the things. I think like LASIK in general, like LASIK eye surgery is one that like libertarians always talk about. Is it LASIK eye surgery?
I think
I don't
the
wanna
Those
robots
are a
do
lot
that
of.
shit now.
I think it's a lot of private companies that do the LASIK. stuff.
Yeah. So like they always use that as like well, look how easy it is to do LASIK eye surgery. Like, and that's because it's deregulated. And I'm like, nope. Fuck it. Let the government pay for it. Make sure that the people doing it are, you know, make sure the people
What about
doing
this?
it are
What about
knowledgeable.
because you got to go to the doc to become a doctor. It's like 8, 12 years, something like that, right, of school, on top of your bachelor's. So let's say this: eyeball sucking school, 1 year, all about eyeball sucking. They'll be more trained than a doctor. You think doctors do 1 year on eyeball sucking? Hell no. 1 year.
I don't know the
I'm a
process,
fucking moron.
but I'm sure that you need to learn everything about like the brain and human anatomy before you can do eyeball sucking. You're
Also-
ultimately going to come around to my argument, which is that like you need, in order to become a doctor, you definitely need training, and you definitely need a fuckload of knowledge. And it's not about like deregulating that aspect, deregulating the training aspect. It's more so about making it so that more doctors can exist by depleting the financial component. I mean, making it easier for people to become doctors in general. Yeah, Tim Pool was advocating for
Tim
me.
Pool is actually with us. This is a moment of clarity for our country. Mr. Beast is galvanizing everybody to make cataract surgery accessible.
This year, Hassan Piker.
Wait, having seen that video, would you let Ethan suck your eyeball? It's still 22% says yes.
So there's still 20.
Yeah, I did a new poll post video to see what the change was.
I
and
guarantee
the yeses
you
have gone
guys,
down a
if
bit.
somebody came from eyeball sucking school after 1 year and they sat here, they'd have all the facts, bro, and y'all be 99% suck me daddy. Anyway, whatever.
Somebody, a fan just left a message. I'm studying optometry, and the space you're working with in a cataract surgery is like 1/10 of a millimeter. but I think Ethan could do it. That's
There
what
it
he said.
is, baby. The fans.
You're
love
not
it.
helping, Jay.
Yeah,
This video changed my mind. Ethan's got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all are freaks,
The
dude.
smaller the space, the less work.
Yeah. Okay.
Good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Why do we need med school, bro? People are fucking crazy. Like.
No, med school is good. Med school is good.
It's just so it's bankrupt, dude. It's defunct. It's just silly. You don't need that kind of training.
Didn't say that.
You watch this video, you go, oh, how cute and how nice. I watched the video and I'm filled with rage.
What's wrong with you?
That we shut off access to a 10-minute procedure because we paywalled it and decided that like some people just simply can't get it. It is so insanely frustrating that it's up to like people who are too poor.
Where's Tim talking about it? I just heard Hassan say all that.
In 2 seconds.
He's literally in the room with me.
Dextero says Twitch streamer Hassan Beast.
You
Dextero
have like an uncanny ability to pause things right before it gets to the relevant
He's
part.
right. He's not ragging on Mr. Beast. Dextero says Twitch streamer
Oh my
Hassan
God.
explained why he's filled with rage from watching Mr. Beast's newest video where he cures 1,000 people's blindness. He's right. Why is it up to one YouTube guy to make content
Whoa,
off of this,
radical Tim
which will
Pool.
generate money? To do that,
worry, it'll go off
it's
the rails in a
mind blowing
second.
to me.
He's right
And a lot
there,
of people-
man.
He doesn't even fully go off the rails, in my opinion. Like he just look. I'll just give you the short and sweet of it. I covered this yesterday as well. He's actually mad about my coverage of it because like one of my fucking fan channels, Hassan Productions, posted it like, you know, Tim Pool calls out Hassan Piker or whatever when like he was agreeing with me, and you know, fucking Hassan Productions doing clickbait again, getting me in trouble. But he basically says the government is spending $100 billion in Ukraine. The government is giving millions of dollars to do like, gender education in Pakistan or whatever. Why the fuck are they spending that money on that? They should just be spending the money here on healthcare, which I agree. Okay, I agree. But I was making fun of Tim Pool, saying like, yeah, the fucking the gender thing is true. Okay, the foreign the State Department does
So
shit
annoying
like
to
that,
hit.
specifically for PR, because they want the liberals in America to be
Dickhead.
like, oh yeah, you know, our military machine isn't just about endless bloodshed and extracting natural resources from the third world by force. It's actually about teaching people in Pakistani madrasas about they, them, non-binary people. Like, it's not. It's just a fucking. That's literally a blip on the radar. It's just.
I love that's like that.
It's $10 million.
Yeah,
It's
how much
nothing.
is that? That's of the national budget.
And I fucking doubt that actually ends up going to a program like that.
Dude, if you express that as like a percentage of the national budget, it'll look like one safe moon's value. You know what I mean? One
it's
crypto
nothing.
zoo.
It's nothing. And he like misunderstood and he got mad. He was like, even when I'm defending Hassan, like, why is he fucking attacking me? And I was like, bro, it's a fucking fan account. Like,
good research there, Tim.
Yeah, he said you don't do your.
Dummy.
He says I didn't do my research, but I actually did. I'm like, I didn't say that the government is not actually, you know, spending money on teaching people in Pakistan about being non-binary or whatever. I know that there is a blip on the. There's a blip in the overall budget.
Part of the funding agreement for Ukraine is they have to put kitty litter boxes in public bathrooms for all the cat girls to use.
We are not. We're not in Ukraine because we want emancipation for Ukrainian people. We're in Ukraine because we needed to reappropriate the budgets from Afghanistan to like another avenue, and this was perfect.
True, King. Let's move on to Steven Crowder being a bisexual god king.
Let's do it.
Now, Crowder, of course, who's gotten into controversy with Ben Shapiro, of all people, and all the folks down at the Daily Wire. Now, this is significant because I don't think gay people are allowed to join, or bisexual people are allowed to join the Daily Wire. So this could affect their negotiating status there. Right after we got off the air last week, this 4-year-old clip of him flew totally under the radar. I sent this to you immediately, and you were shocked by it too. I don't know how any of us didn't see this until now. But this is Steven Crowder basically in a very vulnerable moment admitting that he's been with men, I believe. Let's take
Today
a
I maybe not necessarily been with.
Gay.
Well, what does he mean?
At least had some
bisexual phase.
maybe just attraction or like just considered it.
'Cause that's what he experiences every day. The man's attracted to men. But he acted on it. That's the bisexual phase he's referring to.
Let's just watch the video and we'll make up our
Sometimes
minds
you have to make hard decisions.
once more.
It's from an episode called something about fear. He's having like a really open.
This is a heartfelt 14-minute video by Steven Crowder from 4 years prior, I believe, if not maybe a little bit older than that. Is this from 2014
4
or
years.
is 4 years ago, where he has like he talks about his biggest fears, he talks about all of this like emotional stuff, and in between that, this got lost in the weeds, I guess. He has a heartfelt moment where he's talking about, let's just play the video. Let's hear what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's called Crowder closes defeating fear. So this is a very serious video. And now let's take a look.
And sometimes you think you have to make hard decisions, and it's just wrong. I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid, frankly, I used to have a bad temper. I'm afraid of it coming back. I'm afraid of
This man has a gun on his desk talking about how he has a bad temper. Chill, bro.
What do you mean, brother?
I'm on the edge.
He knows how to handle that. He's got proper training.
I've got an issue with anger, and I'm always within 1 foot of a gun.
Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. That was a short phase.
You fucking paused it right before
I'm afraid.
Ethan. God damn it, play it
Well,
again.
and Zach hit the bruh, which made it.
Yeah, and Zach, you played a soundbite right over it too.
What are you guys doing?
I played it after.
Play it from like
Oh, you
the
said it
second.
I played it after.
I'm afraid of it coming back. I'm afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. That was a short phase. No, I'm afraid. Afraid of getting angry.
Wasn't that so interesting?
Yeah. He said he's afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his bisexual head.
Ugly bisexual
His
head.
ugly bisexual head.
Short phase
It was
in
just
college.
a short phase in college.
Which
now,
I think I'm interpreting that as he had some kind of sexual interaction with the man. As he says, it was a short phase.
or
in college.
attraction, which is valid. Here's the thing. We know for a fact that he was an abstinence-only guy until marriage. He was very proud of that fact. He's advocated for it numerous times. And we know that he's coming from a repressed family.
There's rainbows in chat for Crowder, by the way. I
Yeah.
appreciate y'all supporting him.
Couple things to obviously make note of. Not every single. There is a significantly larger amount of straight people that just hate gay people than there are repressed homosexuals. Okay, so that's number
Sometimes
one.
you have to-
Before people fucking jump down Ethan and I's
This
throats.
man literally just said he's bisexual. Like, what do you?
So that's number one. Like
Straight
whenever
from
you
the
see
cat's
someone
mouth.
who's like homophobic, that doesn't immediately imply that they themselves are gay, right? We're not blaming homophobia on gay people, but every gay person and everyone that understands Steven Crowder's library of content will tell you that he's zesty as fuck. Okay, my man's fruity. I'm just gonna say it. Do you understand?
He's
he
sassy.
is.
He loves dress
There's a lot
cross-dressing.
going on. There's a lot, dude. He cross dresses way too much, and I'm saying this as a guy who's done like drag and cross dress. Like he cross dresses as more than George Santos,
Right.
a gay man who openly has now admitted to watching RuPaul's Drag Race.
You know what? We need to call his show Prouder with Crowder.
Yeah. If he was a
It's
little
time
bit
to come out.
prouder, maybe he wouldn't be so fucking angry all the time.
And you know what? Yeah, I don't think you can cross-dress too much. I think he's like on a dime's notice. That man is ready to put on a dress and express himself proudly.
There was a point in time before like Republicans decided that like doing drag meant that you're like satanic pedophile or whatever. There was a point in time before like, drag is a long culture, long history. It's a big part of theater in general. And Steven Crowder used to do it literally for anything and everything, not just like women's issues, not just to like make fun of trans people or whatever, but he would do drag for like random shit like Planet Fitness. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear a dress. Like, dude, you're doing a doing a video on tort reform. Why the fuck are you in a dress?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What the fuck's going on right
I
now?
love those videos of his.
Like it felt like it was genuine. Like he was, doing the thing where he's like, haha, like
Well, of course, what's interesting about this is that he is homophobic and he has garnered an extremely homophobic audience. And what's really interesting, actually, I pulled up a screenshot of the live chat. I don't know if you saw it, but his fans, when he said that in the live chat, they're like, "Shame on you, Crowder." Did he just say he's bisexual?
It wasn't
That's
the live chat.
disgusting.
It was just the comment section.
Oh, it's the
By the way,
wait.
someone in the,
Oh, really? Let me
Someone
go.
in our chat just said you can be straight and do drag, like sad face or whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm straight, and I just said I've done drag. Like that's not what I'm saying at all. Don't misunderstand me.
He's the man wants to express himself, and that's the only way he can. Oh, this is straight from the comments.
Yeah. I have an extension that allows you to search comments, so I just put "bye" in there,
Bro.
and his fans were raising eyebrows.
3 years ago, this man said, "Proud of you for coming out."
Yeah, I mean, it's not a phase, I don't think. You know what I mean? I don't think he was just like questioning. I think he's just like repressing it. A lot of, here, I'll give you an example of someone who I don't think is gay at all that hates all queer people. Matt fucking Walsh. Like, you won't hear me say that dude is gay.
No, he's just a
bigot.
Yeah, he's just an awful fucking bigoted piece of shit. And that shit's, that's just internally in him. Not because like he's internalizing it or anything. He's just, he feels it in his heart as a straight person.
This is some of the comments on that video, just to give you an idea of why he's repressing this and the kind of audience he's built. Shame on Crowder for being bisexual. He said he's bisexual. Crowder's disgusting. Did you say you had a bisexual phase? Is that a joke? Glad that Crowder came out proud of you. That one I like. Does Crowder admit that he has a bisexual phase? Your bisexual hide.
Even Crowder himself has said in the past that like, if you claim you're bisexual as a guy, you're gay, lol. Which I think he now has deleted.
Now because I think we know who he's talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which, by the way, is not true. By visibility, by pride. Okay. The only time we do by invisibility is when we're talking about Kristen Cinema. All other times, by visibility all day. It's just, he might be bi, he might be gay, but
and we love that for him. And I encourage you, Stephen, and I welcome you to join us for a Pride Minute. And maybe that's a good way to get his toes wet, because I think, as Jordan Peterson aptly pointed out, Pride Month is way too fucking long. So if we can get him into a Pride Minute, maybe that's a good way to wet his toes. And
Pride is not a virtue.
See that the water is nice and warm over here. But since we've been talking about this clip, Crowder has disappeared from the internet.
Yeah, he hasn't posted a lot.
He hasn't posted anything.
Candace Owens kind of came after him and said, like, y'all should pray for him. Bless his heart. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And I haven't really seen a lot of activity from Steven Crowder since then.
I actually spent a decent amount of time last night kind of trying to find out what's going on with his channel. And I think what it is, he got dropped by the Blaze.
He got dropped?
I think
it was mutual.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever. He was way more tight-lipped about that than he was with the Daily Wire stuff. He seemed to not want to get into the weeds on it. But ever since then, all the content that he's really posted was this whole war with Daily Wire. If you go to his channel, those are the only recent videos at all. And since that last one where he, played the secret recording that he made, that's the last thing that's been posted to his YouTube channel at all.
Dude,
so I don't know. It's possible they're just on vacation or something. I don't know if you want to read into that too much.
Nobody wants to work anymore, man.
Yeah.
Fucking lazy.
Is fucking quiet quitting, dude?
So true.
What the fuck is this shit?
Get to
Show
work,
up at work
you
and
lazy
work
fuck.
harder. Fuck you. Show up at work.
Thank you.
Exactly.
That's how we feel. But the last thing was that Candy was threatening to expose we're inferring homosexuality. So he is hiding. He's in hiding right now. Now, here's the thing. Come over to us. We accept you for who you are, bro.
He's even been silent on Twitter. Like, I looked through his likes. He's liked 1 or 2 posts. But that's about it. He hasn't really tweeted.
Have any conservatives reacted to this clip? Like, any of his fans? Like, I'm really curious what they'll think about this.
I mean, a lot of the like alt-right,
Yeah,
shithead
alt-right
type
has done
people are like ragging on him. You know,
For this?
yeah, of course.
Oh, really?
'cause-
Yeah, it's all like far right freaks that
Yeah.
have like been making fun of him for years about this. I guess
Okay.
that's why like a lot of the people that pull data from this or anything resembling like something that might look like Steven Crowder is like admitting or acknowledging being gay or whatever is always like from the Odin Benjamin stuff or something.
Wait.
And that guy's a fucking major piece of shit. Fuck that guy.
Wait, here, how about this one? In the closet with Crowder. That's from chat. Don't blame me.
Okay.
No,
Crowder with Crowder's better.
Crowder with Crowder.
Well, because
Yeah.
it actually, yeah, I mean, it's a better play off of his real title.
Well, there it is. Crowder, you have two choices to make. You can go back to the alt-right freaks who hate you, or you can come to me and Hassan with open arms to accept you for who you are.
I mean, I'll accept him for who he is, but he's still a fucking piece of shit, you know? Like,
He's
fuck
ready
that
to
guy.
change, though, man.
You don't even have to think about it, dude.
You know, he's
Yeah, he's
repressing
got a long
lot.
way
Yeah. No, there's a redemption
for that to
arc.
happen. Yeah, of course, there's a redemption for everyone, but I'm just saying,
There is. What about Bill Cosby?
even for, I think, I think even, I've said this before.
What's Bill
I'm a
Cosby's
firm-
redemption road look
I'm
like?
a firm believer in rehabilitation. I think like Bill Cosby's unique because he's like so old, and so grounded within his like, and he barely withstood
O.J.
punishment.
Simpson?
I think every single person, with some exceptions,
Maxwell? Okay, good.
every single person with some
Elaine?
exceptions can be rehabilitated, and our focus should always be on rehabilitation, 100%, and reintegration into society.
Is this real? He's doing a stand-up?
Yeah.
I guess.
Louisville.
So
Holy
he's
shit.
out there. He's working, I guess. He's doing things. I guess the show is just maybe on extended hiatus because of all the
God
drama that's gone
Can
on.
you imagine?
For the
what that
record, I just
feels
want to
like?
point out one more thing about the redemption or rehabilitation argument. The reason why I said there are notable exceptions is because like there are still things that we do not have a good grasp on, especially with respect to like antisocial personality disorder or like crimes caused by that, specifically pedophilia, sexually violent crimes, and like serial killers and whatnot. But with those notable exceptions, which may change in the future, we may figure out.
I mean, we already
the
figured
brain
out
is-
it's called a lobotomy, bro.
But that's like no, that doesn't. You can't do that. That's
Okay.
insane.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah. But ultimately, a lot of crime is, like the overwhelming majority of crime, is a product of our material conditions that we're subjected to, and therefore, obviously, I will always advocate to fix the underlying reasons as to why crime manifests, rather than focus on punishing criminals harder. Because if
Woody
punishing criminals,
Allen.
if punishing criminals harder, what? Woody Allen?
Yeah.
Look, a lot of times you're pointing to people who have never faced accountability,
Mm.
and accountability and also like serving time is still plays a fundamental role in rehabilitation.
Mm.
So of course, when you talk about people like Bill Cosby or Woody Allen or Roman Polanski and whatnot, like these are people who either faced very little consequences for their actions, and never even offered restitution for the victims or whatever, even acknowledged their crimes, and they basically got away with it, which is the reason why like they're not the best example to use.
Well, we love rehabilitation here, don't we, folks? We love to redeem. In fact, some have called me Jesus Christ for that reason, and I accept it without any pushback.
Okay.
Let's talk about. And you came before me, Lord, and said, Jesus, I have fucked 20 children.
Oh my God.
And I said to you, blessed be my son. I shall redeem you. I shall castrate you. Castration? Is that part of redemption?
No, because
Oh.
Harvey Weinstein's dick was like horrifically scarred from gangrene, and yet he still successfully raped, like almost 100 women. Because that's
Was
what a
it
lot of
that
people don't
many?
understand. Chemical castration or castration in general is not an adequate punishment because, like, rape is not about sexual gratification. Rape can give you sexual gratification, but it's about power. It's about exercising power over someone who cannot consent. So therefore, you can still do digital penetration. Therefore, you can still violate someone's bodily autonomy in different ways.
So lobotomy is kind of the only option I'm seeing for them.
But even then you arrive at the same concept as the death penalty, which is like, what if you are lobotomizing someone who is innocent, right? Like that.
But I like lobotomy because it's like death sentence light.
I am not an advocate for lobotomy, Ethan.
We can put the piece of their
Ethan's
brain.
out here
Hey,
like
hold
the
on,
fucking Kennedys, dude.
I have an idea. We'll put the little piece of their brain on ice, and if we find out they're innocent, we'll just put it back where we found it. Thoughts?
I don't know if it works that way.
All right, let's move on. Thank you. We're getting now to the presidential primaries between Trump and DeStinky. Ron DeStinky is heating up. And we are here for it. Trump is already kicking off his re-election campaign and bringing the heat to DeSantis. Let's see what he has to say.
Been governor if it wasn't for me, and that's okay. Number one, he wouldn't have gotten the nomination, and number two, he wouldn't have beaten his Democrat opponent. So then, when I hear he might run, I consider that very disloyal. But it's not about loyalty. But to me, it is. It's always about loyalty. But for a lot of people, it's not about loyalty.
Are you surprised to see him?
He's a mob. I love how mobster Trump is. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's badass. Ron DeStinky has nothing on him. Okay, I'll just say it. After seeing him at the funeral, after seeing him at the Diamond funeral, like I was like, my man's kind of back. He needs to. He needs to come back and do more of that shit. Straight up. As far as like Ron DeStinky, when he talks about DeSantis and how like he almost lost to Andrew Gillum, it's true. Andrew Gillum was like the up-and-comer in the Democratic Party, propped up by Obama himself, young black man who then turned out to be a fan of doing meth with gay prostitutes at the Fontainebleau.
They all are, man.
Which is
all the best ones.
By the way,
are.
I think is awesome. Okay, I don't have an issue with that.
I'm thinking I gotta try it because it sounds really fun. By how many people are doing it.
I think that makes him the perfect candidate for Florida.
Right, just a man of the people.
And also, objectively, still more ethical than whatever the fuck Voldemort did before Ron DeSantis.
Like human trafficking immigrants.
Well, Ron DeSantis, human trafficking immigrants, but I was talking about Rick Scott, who, did Medicare fraud. So
we love that. But anyway, DeSantis is actually taking the bait now and responding to Trump. So things are heating up, my friends. This is what I'm living for.
I roll out of bed. I have people attacking me from all angles. It's been happening for many, many years. And if you look at the good thing about it, though, is like if you take a crisis situation like COVID, the good thing about it is when you're an elected executive, you have to make all kinds of decisions. You got to steer that ship. And the good thing is that the people are able to render a judgment on that, whether they reelect you or not. And I'm happy to say, in my case, not only did we win reelection, we won with the highest percentage of the vote that any Republican governor candidate has in the history.
He just fucking torched him with that. Is Ron DeSantis, has he spoken out about the election being fixed?
Well, I mean, he did the election. He did the cops that like went into people's houses and
but
like
about the
arrested them and stuff. He has talked about it a little bit when he was like riding for Trump.
I just find it funny because he's like, "Oh yeah, I won by the biggest margin ever."
Well,
I was like,
"The
vote works there."
Here's the thing about election fraud, and this is a point that I made many times over, and I think I need to make it again. It's not just Trump that has talked about election fraud. He's not the first, and he will certainly not be the last. Voter fraud is a vehicle, is a propaganda piece that the Republican Party has used historically to undermine the integrity of elections so they can continue justifying voter suppression, like closing polls, closing places where there are, closing polling stations in poorer neighborhoods, black and brown communities specifically, and also implementing like signature verification processes or voter ID laws that also, again, disproportionately stop poorer people from going out to vote, making sure that voting is happening on a work day in the middle of the fucking day. You know, these are all many different ways in which those in positions of power, whether it be Democrat or Republican, have tried to actively stop the working poor from going out and participating in their civic duty. So they will continue to lie about it. It's not just about Trump. It's not the big lie that Trump promoted. I think the liberals kind of fail when they make this a Trump thing. But yeah,
Well,
I digress.
we don't have to worry about that because his new culture war is gas stoves, my friend. Yes.
Which ironic because Florida, majority electric stoves. Florida does not have the same kind of gas infrastructure that California has. The 68% of the country uses electric stoves, and the overwhelming majority of Florida already use electric stoves. They do not use gas stoves. He's just straight up doing this specifically because it's a culture war talking point. It's so fucking stupid.
It's so insane how they construct these things. Like they've created this fiction. I guess there was some research that showed that having gas stoves in your house can make the air really unhealthy.
Yeah,
And-
especially for kids.
And
in
I don't know
particular.
why. Like, why are they just figuring that out? Like, you have an open flame in your house. You're burning gas in your house. Why?
From what I was reading, it's long been suspected, but it was just there was a large study that just came out recently, and it was specifically about it being behind a lot of childhood asthma.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of gases like not captured adequately.
Right.
Well, so anyway, they've created this fiction that now liberals are coming for their stoves, and as silly as that sounds, that really is what they're saying.
And then we just added, because I think it needs to be done, no tax permanently on gas stoves. They want your gas stove, and we're not going to let that happen. And we're not even a state. The way Florida was built, a lot of this wasn't even connected to gas lines. You got
They
a lot
want
of
your
He's even
gas
acknowledging
stove.
it. He's acknowledging it. He's acknowledging it.
Yo, I just looked it up. It's even crazier than you said, Hassan.
No, 68% of the entire country, overwhelming majority of Florida, though.
92%
Yeah.
electric stoves.
Wait,
in
it's just
Florida.
It's just in California where we have gas.
California and other like older, I guess like older cities that had gas lights, that had a pre-built infrastructure for gas, basically kept using gas stoves. And most other more recent developments, like city developments, you just use electric.
Wait, how do they heat their AC and shit?
Electric?
Electric?
Yeah. What do you mean? AC is already electric. What are you talking about?
No, like, isn't our central AC like gas powered?
No.
Yes, it is.
AC
It burns gas.
In California, yes.
Yeah.
Your water heater could either be electric or gas. That's okay. So,
but the AC.
Shouts out to I think it's Climate Town, right? They did a really good video on this. I highly recommend you guys check them out. Climate Town talked about this disparity long time ago, as a matter of fact, before this culture war even heated up. Gas stoves are the entry point into using natural gas as a heating substitute. So like when you ask random people like if their home is powered by gas or electric, they have no idea. But the only place where they do have a preference, or the only place where they do actually think about this, is gas stoves versus electric stoves. Now, part of that is because electric stoves early on were not as powerful as gas stoves. It, I think, takes like 4 extra minutes to boil water on an electric stove in comparison to a gas stove, which is why the oil and gas industry dumped a lot of money into marketing for many years. The idea that the colloquialism cooking with gas, which is something that I use all the time, I'm sure you've used it before, that was literally a marketing technique by the oil and gas industry. How fucking crazy is that? That
crazy.
it's been it's played such a fundamental role. Like that marketing technique has made its way into our language without us even recognizing it, and it plays a small but still significant role in like people thinking that gas stoves are better than electric, and that's the only thing that that consumers have a preference on. But of course, the oil and gas industry specifically want to maintain their profit margins, and they don't want to change the infrastructure, because if the infrastructure is changed to focus on electricity, then all of a sudden they're gonna lose a lot of revenue.
I thought the gas was fine. I didn't think it was a big deal, like the natural gas issue. I thought it.
For
I
a very
could
long
be
time,
wrong.
it was actually a cleaner alternative.
It
yes.
burns pretty clean. We have a ton of it here in California. It's
Yeah.
not that expensive because there's so much of it. So I thought that it was actually like a relatively good thing we had going. But am I wrong? Should I be going electric on my stoves?
Induction stoves are better than
Induction.
electric. From what I understand, they're actually literally better than gas as well.
Well, what's better mean?
Better as in like faster.
Heat up faster. And
The
more
only
e-
difference is
more
like you
evenly
just
and
need
stuff.
like a specific induction wok, for example. Like you can't use
Right.
the same
I think-
kinds of
Okay,
kitchenware.
interesting. Well, I am coming for their stoves. You hear me? But it's because 93% of the people in Florida are not even using gas. It's such a stupid ass fucking virtue signal.
I'm looking at this. Yeah, I'm looking at this study, and I think it actually is the highest of any state.
Yeah.
I love
It's
that.
literally the highest.
It's so easy for them to come out and be like, listen, I'm making the great sacrifice. We're not taxing the 5 gas stoves we've sold in the state.
Yeah, no, it's just culture war shit, which is ironic though, because like a lot of places where conservatives live actually are like Florida, where the majority of places use electric, which is why it's like this doesn't even impact them.
Well,
they're just advocating for like liberals to continue using gas, I guess.
We're redoing our kitchen at my house, and I was adamant about getting gas stoves. They tried to get me on electric, but
You're
I went
fucking
gas.
duped, dog.
They got you,
fucking
dude.
got you.
I like cooking with gas, baby.
But see, that's the point. Like,
You know what was my concern?
What?
I was like, I'm gonna get these electric burners, and in 5 to 10 years, these things are gonna be fucking like broken as shit. Because with like tech and all that shit.
Well, I
it's
mean, your
gonna-
gas stove can break too, and especially when your
I feel
gas
like the
stove.
gas stove lasts forever.
No, they definitely break. I have a gas stove in my house.
I guess you're right. The burner
And
gets
it's
all
a
fucked
fucking
up.
it's a melee one too, and it's still fucking broken. It breaks all the goddamn time. Everything breaks. It's just everything is made to break. But there is no. I don't think like gas stoves are particularly better.
Nicole
And especially
says-
less dangerous because if gas stoves break, you can fucking burn your house down. If electric stove breaks, I don't think you have. the same kind of
That's
problem.
always been what's so interesting to me about in California in particular having so much gas infrastructure and everything is that we get fucking earthquakes here, and when that happens, that's what starts like giant fires all over the place. I remember my family had to have like an emergency turnoff in the '94 Northridge earthquake because it broke the gas line.
Doesn't everybody have an emergency turnoff, or is that a revelation after the Northridge earthquake?
I was so young that I don't know.
Like, I
just
know our-
remember that being like a really scary thing that our family went through after that earthquake.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know that like our house has an earthquake detector,
Like an
where
automatic
automatically will
turn-off?
close it.
Ours did not.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's a new thing because
Yeah,
since
maybe.
then I think. But yeah, I don't know. This Nicole says that conduction is expensive and requires special cookware. But should I switch? Should I go?
I don't. I mean, the IRA actually has a financial incentive built into it. I'm pretty sure you can get subsidized.
Really?
Yeah,
On the
for
electric?
making a switch to an electric stove.
I think I already bought it. I think I might be fucked on that one.
And aren't they mandating new buildings now in California? Like
I'm
the
not
phasing
sure.
out?
I wouldn't be surprised.
At
but
least
I'm not.
for I think it's like because I know there was like a controversy over it because a lot of restaurants, cooks have their preferences and they're much more serious and dedicated to one side or the other. and
Even
they
a
were
lot
upset
of
about it.
but even a lot of fucking cooks have been paid for by the
Really?
yes.
Oh my
so
God.
there was a marketing
been paid?
campaign on Instagram from like Instagram chefs. They specifically looked at like different demographics on who was more likely to be duped by this, I guess, and they found out that like young Latinos, like up and coming Latinos, were it was way more effective. So they went after like Latino chefs on Instagram. So Climate Town details this perfectly. Like I said, highly recommend the channel. Highly recommend that video. They're brilliant. But they had like young Latino chefs that were like, I prefer cooking with gas over electric because it's much better. Like it's more authentic.
Don't more chefs prefer gas though? That's real.
there are a lot of chefs who still prefer gas. I think they like it old school. First of all, no one is a fucking real chef when we're talking about this, so they don't need the intricacies. But
Chefs
there
in
are
chat.
a lot of chefs who now also prefer induction. So
Right.
So yeah,
Well, like
that's
you said,
changing as well.
I'm late on this
electric
discourse.
electric stoves did used to suck. Like
Maybe-
they were inferior, but
yeah.
I think they've improved
Yeah, no,
a lot.
that's what. I agree with that.
I guess I'm late to this convo. So here she is. I am a chef. I prefer gas for controllability. Induction is good, but gets too hot too fast
I'm the meat chef.
sometimes. But pull pan off induction stove, and the stove will be cold. Electric stays hot for too long. Gas forever, bro. You do not lay your fucking fingers on my gas stove.
I mean, I'm a dirty little gas stove user. You know what I mean? But I am also a normal human being who has no preference of one over the other, and I don't think it will like genuinely impact my life. Also, as a homeowner, we're in a different situation than everyone else. Most people don't make these decisions. Their landlord makes these decisions.
Right, yeah.
It's
I have
not
a
going to
gas
change your
stove in
fucking
my
life. You know what I mean?
I see lots of people riding for induction.
Yeah.
I do
I've
like
heard
that.
it's really cool too.
I like that when you take the pan off, it's cold. And I mean, with someone with kids, that's like,
Right.
you know,
That's
the
true.
stove is a scary thing. So that's pretty cool, actually. But
The
purchase has been made.
The only thing that the gas stove has over electric, which is why you will never pry it from my cold dead hands, is that
you can light your
fucking-
cigarettes on it, boy.
Well, no, you toss a tortilla on that bad boy. All of a
Oh,
sudden,
yeah.
ooh, that shit's crispy and like
Crispy
that-
fried
You ain't
tortilla.
wrong. You ain't wrong.
I mean, but that's that. I do use it for that. I do.
Doomsday preppers prefer gas. That's just given.
Yeah.
How you gonna the apocalypse? How you gonna use induction then?
Yeah,
son?
they also prefer like Iraqi dinar and shit. So I don't think they're making a lot of. I don't think they're making a lot of sense.
They probably prefer propane, right?
What's propane?
Well, I guess it is,
Gasoline,
yeah.
my brother. Yeehaw. Get some glizzies on the open flame.
Good one, man. They got another one, man.
Tell you what, man. That dang gas and I'm freaking it out of the grill.
Them Coleman's air all
couldn't
off to the
come into my
side,
grill
man.
and tell them
Like,
gas,
here's my good
man.
side, man.
Good.
Pretty
Good
King of
gas.
the Hill
like
is
that.
coming back.
I was about to
Hulu.
say, yeah.
It is new episode.
Yeah,
Whoa.
greatest slice of life
Actually.
anime of all time. Absolutely incredible shit.
I love that show.
I hope it's not ruined.
Well, is it?
Mike Judge also still is a performer
Mike
though. He,
Judge is coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's like the
all the
theme.
original voice actors too.
Yep.
That's great. That's interesting. Yeah, but back to the stinky here.
I
Let's
didn't
finish
feel
this.
well. I'm
But
just
it's
gonna
just
crash.
the principle of, this is ridiculous that they do.
Don't feel well. Just play early tomorrow. God damn it. Right.